and he has to take care of the giant dungeon boss within that time frame. Standing in front of him is the level 20 boss, D-class dungeon lord, Ye Wuming. The boss doesn't hesitate before aiming for Bai Yi's head, but Bai Yi punishes it by relieving it of its hand. However, this is nothing to the boss, as it easily heals itself back, using one of its broken skills. This leaves Bai Yi in shock because he never expected the monster to have such a powerful self-healing ability. Right in front of him, the monster's arm regrows, and he punches the ground to bring the dead plant monsters back to life. Bai Yi cannot believe his eyes when he sees the monsters that he has defeated all coming back to life like it's a Christmas party. This is totally confusing to him, since a D-class lord shouldn't have the ability to resurrect others. He is trying to understand the severity of the situation when a giant plant arm impales him from behind, sending a wave of agony through his body as he spills out blood. He turns around to realize the shock of his life. It turns out that Ye Wuming has a twin brother, Ye Wuming, basically making the dungeon a dungeon that is ruled by two terrifying lords. Because of his inability to get to the gate at the right time, it closes, leaving him trapped inside. Meanwhile, his mother hasn't heard from him, and she is getting seriously worried already. She has tried to reach him via text messages, but his phone is not going through, and the woman stands by the window in horror. Realizing that her son might be in danger, she decides to step out in the heavy rain to find him. However, Lingsheng has managed to track down the new apartment and arrives at the entrance totally drunk, while he is also pissed off that his wife and kid rented out another apartment behind his back. Bai Yi's mother stepped out of the building as the rain poured on her. Back in the dungeon, Bai Yi is having a really hard time against the dungeon bosses. He has killed the plant monsters, but they just keep coming back up, leaving him totally exhausted. Nonetheless, he is not ready to give up against the monsters. However, he also knows that taking down the monsters repeatedly won't grant him any experience points. Bai Yi figures out that the only way out of his problem is to find the source of their constant resurrection. Bai Yi is having it hard because it is not only the dungeon bosses that have regenerative powers, but also the other monsters inside the cave. He cuts them down very easily, but every time, they just heal themselves yet again. Bai Yi is forced to admit that their healing powers are too broken because even an S-rank healer can't do what they are doing. He figures out that there might be a place stored with a massive amount of healing energy that is feeding the dungeon bosses. To make things worse, Bai Yi realizes that the monster is actually adapting to his moves as the fight progresses. However, Bai Yi fights his way through until he finally finds the giant tree that is the source of the dungeon's energy. Bai Yi can easily tell that the bosses are healing pretty easily thanks to the tree's presence, and the moment he takes it down, there is no healing power for them again. He runs toward the tree while the bosses chase him down in fear, knowing fully well that they are done for once he takes down the tree. Bai Yi, on the other hand, smiles, because he can now kill the dungeon bosses the easiest way possible. Bai Yi manages to get to the tree, and he cuts every single one of them down. Bai Yi immediately switches professions and becomes a cloud element mage to get a range at the bosses, while the dungeon bosses scream in pain, telling Bai Yi to stop. Before they can reach him, Bai Yi freezes them up and then switches classes to nuclear warrior before targeting Ye Wuming. He impales Wuming, ultimately killing it, and just as predicted, the other monsters lose their healing abilities. By defeating the boss, he gets a ton of experience points while also obtaining a high-grade item, Spirit Grass, which instantly recovers 50% of stamina and heals most physical damage. Wuming's brother breaks out of the ice prison, but Bai Yi is not worried about it because he is about to end it without his brother's influence. The dungeon boss suddenly tells Bai Yi to kill him, shocking him. Bai Yi then figures out that the dungeon boss has no reason to live again because his brother is dead. Being the good dude that he is, he can't deny his wish. Bai Yi charges toward the last surviving boss and cuts it down pretty easily. After killing the boss, he obtains a high-grade material, Poison Thorn, which is an essential material for crafting an S-rank weapon, Poison Piercer. By defeating the bosses, his Nuclear Warrior increases to level 15, and his Cloud Element Mage increases to level 13. Just then, the dungeon entrance opens again, and since his Flora element has reached the maximum accumulation, he gets the chance to awaken a new class. Bai Yi wonders what sort of amazing class he is about to awaken, but to his surprise, he awakens a blue-colored E-class summoner. Bai Yi has never been one to rate the summoner class because he believes that it is trash. He checks out the skills related to the class, and he sees a skill, Flora Spirit Contract. This is a skill that allows the wielder to sign a contract with the souls of a defeated Flora element monster. The other skill is called Flower Bed, and this will allow him to see the souls of recently deceased Flora element monsters. Since he has 2 contract slots, it suddenly dawns on Bai Yi that he just defeated 2 dungeon bosses, and he can see their souls. He wastes no time activating the contract skill, ultimately making the 2 his subordinates, basically making the summoner class not too useless after all. On the surface, Ling Sheng is approaching the apartment when he gets a call on his phone, leaving him wondering who it is that is about to ruin his fun time. It turns out to be Chen Wu, and they talk about their sinister plan concerning Chief Hong. Ling Sheng assures Chen Wu that he is going to do everything to return to the guild. After the call, Ling Sheng cackles evilly, since things happen to be going his way. He then decides to leave his reunion with his wife and child in the meantime. Momentarily, Bai Yi returns home to find his mother in the rain. He walks up to his worried mother with an umbrella in hand, and he suggests that they return home. As part of his regular souvenirs, Bai Yi gives his mother a bracelet with a green jewel in the middle, leaving her to wonder why she is getting gifts every time. On the other hand, Bai Yi is in his room, thinking about the 3 classes that he has managed to awaken. There is the green-colored warrior, the blue-colored summoner, and the red-colored mage. In his current stage, he has managed to upgrade 2 to D class. The Nucleo Warrior and the Cloud Element Mage are both D class, while the Flora Element Summoner is still E class. Even with all the new classes that he just acquired, Bai Yi doesn't think it's enough to go against his father. Bai Yi calculates his father's jail time and assumes that he is going to be released in 5 days, but since he knows how cunning his father is, he also knows that he might have bribed his way out of prison. To make sure that things don't catch him by surprise is why he has prepared the items he gave to his mother. However, he is quite aware that hiding won't help him against his father. To gain more strength, Bai Yi steps out the next morning to enter another dungeon, since he is planning to get really strong and settle the issue with his father before he leaves town for his training pilgrimage. By afternoon, he has racked up a bunch of experience points while raising his class. Bai Yi continues raiding and conquering dungeons the entirety of the day, hoping to be stronger and faster than his father by the time he goes up against him. Just then, he gets the notification that he has obtained another title, the Lone Wolf Hero. Apparently, conquering a dungeon of a level not lower than his 10 times has granted him the hero's key. With the key, and with certain conditions met, he can unlock the warrior's tower. But this sounds strange to him since it is his first time seeing it. By Monday morning, Bai Yi returns to school, and the teacher informs them that the final results of their assessments have been released. Basically, Bai Yi and Qi Yin took first and second in the entire school. In addition to this, Bai Yi's recording was sent to the headquarters for more comprehensive analysis. The teacher mentions that Qi Yin and Bai Yi had a joint record that is the highest in the school's history, and because of this, they have earned the qualifications for the training pilgrimage. Because Bai Yi performed exceptionally well, he will be getting a one-on-one talk with the Divine Clan. The students are blown away when they hear this, because getting the chance to talk to the Divine Clan is something a Divine Officer dreams of. To Bai Yi, he is glad because he will basically get the chance to meet those he has wanted to in person. His friend rushes over to him, sobbing like a fish, and tells Bai Yi not to forget them back home when he finally achieves success. At the dean's office, he is asking Hong if he would like to go with Bai Yi to the pilgrimage, but he is refusing. Hong is pissed that he got 3rd place and doesn't qualify to go. Hong tells his uncle that he doesn't want people to start believing he is relying on his father for everything. The dean is impressed by how much Hong has grown, and he wishes that his father would see it one day. Hong then asks the dean for a favor, and this is access to the sealed D-class dungeon on the back mountain. Hong mentions that he would like to get stronger on his own. On the other hand, Ziling is begging his uncle, the principal, to be a part of the pilgrimage, mentioning that he is the sole heir of the Zi family. His uncle, Zi Yunqing, berates him for acting impulsively when he knew that he was the one everyone was relying on. The principal asks Ziling why he would do something so reckless during the combat test. Ziling is shocked to hear this, and his uncle screams at him in anger, telling him that the people in charge are not fools because they could clearly see through his stupid little tricks. The principal lets Ziling know that he won't be present in the school if he hadn't stepped in to help with the situation. Ziling falls to his knees in fear of his uncle's aura and starts begging for forgiveness. He shed tears while admitting that he messed up, but his uncle told him to get back on his feet. Yunqing tells Ziling that his actions are what made the higher-ups notice Bai Yi's talents. However, they are already suspecting that something is not adding up when it comes to Bai Yi's case. The principal says Bai Yi's growth is extraordinary, which is quite weird, and this is why someone from the Divine Clan wants to meet him in person. Yunqing finally decides to have mercy on Ziling, telling him that he can go on the pilgrimage, but he needs to learn how to start acting without his anger getting the best of him. The principal assures Ziling that he won't be able to protect him any further if he causes more trouble. Ziling excitedly assures his uncle that he is going to be a good boy, but deep down, he is planning to go after Bai Yi at the training pilgrimage. He is not stopping with Bai Yi alone because he also has his eyes set on Li. That evening, as the school prepares to close, Bai Yi gets an invitation letter from the elite school squad, telling him to come to the squad office for registration if interested. His friend is blown away when he sees the invitation because the squad is basically the strongest in the entirety of the school. There is a guarantee that joining them means direct access to the Divine Guild without an exam. The squad was apparently created by the school's only golden assassin in recent years. It is obvious that people are always struggling to join, but they have never made a direct approach to a student except for Bai Yi, of course. The students in the class are blown away because the elite squad is a high school division squad, but they are basically inviting a junior high school student. Bai Yi's friend starts bawling out of pure love for the dude's incredible talent. Just then, Bai Yi picks up the invitation letter and throws it in the trash, sending a wave of disbelief through the entire class. They can't believe that Bai Yi is basically ignoring the prestigious invitation, and Bai Yi says he is leaving. His friends know that he is refusing a great opportunity, but at the same time they know that he is avoiding joining because he is just going to become a leader. Bai Yi then heads to the school's back mountain, where he meets up with Hong, who helped him gain access to the dungeons present there. Basically, Bai Yi promised Hong that he would show him practical combat skills, which would help him get stronger, but the condition was that he would get him access to the school's dungeons. Bai Yi is impressed because he never expected Hong to be able to get him access to the D-class ones. Upon entering the dungeon, Bai Yi is having a field day with the monsters, while Hong is struggling really hard. Hong crashes to the ground at some point, but he refuses to take Bai Yi's help, saying he can get out of the situation himself. As they continue to explore the dungeon, he figures out that he hasn't met the full conditions to unlock the warrior's tower yet, which is why he can't enter. Apparently, he has to reach B-class before he can even get the chance to enter the tower. Bai Yi has cleared all the wild dungeons that he can find, and the ones at the school are the only ones left for him to level up with. Every day after school, Bai Yi heads to the dungeons to kill monsters and level up while clearing out dungeons. Hong is always with him, but Bai Yi gets the shine every single time, even though Hong is always screaming at him not to interfere. Bai Yi lets him know that he would be dead if he didn't interfere. Even though he doesn't have wild dungeons again, Bai Yi is pretty okay with the dungeons at the school. By Thursday, Hong leaves the dungeon after finally leveling up to D-class. He celebrates his win, saying it is much better to enter the dungeon by himself rather than having bodyguards accompany him. Bai Yi, on the other hand, remains chill even though he has managed to get the warrior class to C-class. With what he now has, he is confident that he can deal with his father if he goes up against him. In addition to leveling up, he gains a new skill. When Bai Yi returned home that night, his deaf mother communicated with him, using sign language, asking him if he had been dating a cute girl, which is why he was not coming home early. Bai Yi refutes the idea, reminding his mother that he is just a junior high student, which is why it is completely impossible. His mother then asks him if he has been messing around with his buddies, which is why he is coming home late. Bai Yi tries to clear the air, but his mother just keeps coming up with more reasons why he should get someone he loves before he loses the chance and later regrets it in the future. This finally gets to Bai Yi's head, and he realizes that there is a girl he cares about, and this is An Li, one of his former teammates from his past life. An Li was always hanging around Bai Yi and even displaying her beautiful melons to him, but he was always rejecting all the green lights. However, his death sends a wave of rage into his head again. He remembers that he met An Li in the capital city of the Shenghe Nation after he was rescued by his master. Since Bai Yi doesn't know where she currently is, he believes that it would be hard to meet her in this life again. Moreover, there won't be any connection between them even if he manages to meet An Li in this life. Meanwhile, An Li, who is currently the captain of the elite squad, has received a report from her vice that Bai Yi has rejected their offer. Since Bai Yi seems to be an interesting person, An Li decides that she is going to get off and meet Bai Yi herself to personally deliver an invitation letter to him. On Friday, which is Bai Yi's birthday, his mother gets him a gift with a letter addressed to him, wishing him eternal happiness and the courage to live the life he chooses. Inside the gift box is a scarf, even though it is almost summer. However, it dawns on him that his mother might have figured out that he is going to the Shenghe Nation. Apparently, the temperature difference between day and night at the Shenghe Nation is quite huge, and his mother wants him to take care of himself. His mother then assures him that she is going to take good care of herself while he is gone. Bai Yi is shocked to hear this, and he realizes that his mother knew what she was doing all along. His mother then suggests that he treat his best friends to a meal, since it is his birthday. Bai Yi is forced to remind his mother that he has no friends. When he gets to school, his friend is the first to come to his table to create a water avatar for him as a present. Four Eyes also join the fray, and he gives Bai Yi the original tape of his favorite movie, ultimately shocking him. Bai Yi remembers that he was always sneaking out with Four Eyes in his past life to watch prehistoric movies while they cried like babies. Four Eyes tell Bai Yi to keep the movie tape so that the teachers will not see it. Bai Yi's face lights up in happiness with all the gifts that his friends are giving him, and he thanks them. They are about to wrap everything up when Qian shows up and suddenly whips out her own birthday gift for Bai Yi. They open it, and they are ultimately shocked to find an A-rank mage weapon, the Phantasm Gem, inside there. Bai Yi is blown away and he pushes the box back, saying he can't accept the gift because it is too valuable. Qian then reminds Bai Yi that without him, she wouldn't have been able to participate in the training pilgrimage. Qian lets Bai Yi know that her family has a lot of the stones, so it is not something very precious to them. However, she is pretty sure that it is going to be helpful to Bai Yi. Bai Yi subtly agrees with her because he is looking to improve himself, and the gem will come a long way. Bai Yi starts to wonder if Qian gave him the gem because she saw him using the lowest level mage weapon while he was fighting in the dungeon. Bai Yi is impressed that the girl is quite observant. Bai Yi is utterly grateful that his friends remembered his birthday, and they all prepared gifts for him when he was already planning to leave. Specs and the other friend are shocked to see that Qian and Bai Yi have gotten close, but Qian notices them whispering, and she walks over to ask them what they are whispering about. The two almost faint, realizing that they almost got caught in the act. Even though Bai Yi is trying to avoid any meaningful connections with them, he suggests that they have dinner together that night. He assures them that everything is on him, and he asks them if they are going to be available for the treat. Surprisingly, the trio agrees to go out, and they all celebrate as if they won the lottery. Suddenly, Bai Yi notices some high school students approaching them, and this leaves him wondering what the seniors might want with them. Meanwhile, the other students are talking about Anli's presence in the class and how she has come to personally invite Bai Yi. This is a big deal to most of the students because Anli is considered a very beautiful maiden. When Bai Yi hears this, he gets off his seat, ready to refuse the invitation in person. His friends believe that they are about to witness something straight out of the movies. Apparently, Ziling is also present in the school, and he is pissed about the whole thing because he cannot believe that Anli would personally show up just to invite Bai Yi. Bai Yi confidently walks to the lobby, but suddenly the room is hit with a golden aura that almost blinds the students. Bai Yi stands strong amidst all the pressure, and he whips out his dagger, ready to take on whatever it is that has everyone shaking. He concentrates all his abilities into his senses, and he is able to sense when an attack is coming behind him. He blocks the attack with his dagger, leaving a flashing light and clashing sound that almost blinds the students. None of them are able to track Bai Yi and the attacker's movements because of just how fast they are. Just then, the golden aura clears off, and the person behind it shows herself, and it is none other than Anli. Bai Yi is totally in disbelief when he sees the person standing in front of him. At the same time, Anli tells Bai Yi that she is impressed with his quick reaction, which basically means she didn't choose the wrong person to be on her team. While she is smiling about striking gold, Bai Yi is left in shock and is trying to pull himself together. Standing in front of him is the one girl whom he has feelings for in his past life, and he finds it very difficult to close his mouth from the shock that is hitting him hard. And Lee smiles at Bai Yi, saying they have sent loads of invitations to him, but they never got a reply, which is why she personally came. Bai Yi's friends are already worried that Bai Yi might reject Anli face to face. And Lee is still trying to introduce herself when Bai Yi rushes over to hug her, shocking her and everyone else watching. Ziling almost crashes out when he sees this, and Bai Yi whispers into her ear that he has missed her. And Lee is confused while the others who are watching are trying to wake up from what they can only describe as a dream. His friend believes that Bai Yi loves older women, and he is just letting his fantasies come true. Specs then mentions that Anli is not actually an older woman because she skipped grades thanks to her impressive stats. Apparently, she was originally in their class, which makes them classmates. And Lee then pushes Bai Yi back with her aura, asking him if his embrace signifies his acceptance into the elite squad. She mentions that the elite squad is fully funded by the school, and they also have the best resources. She lets him know that there are ways he can get stronger, rather than grinding through the school dungeons after class, and she believes that they might even fight side by side one day. Bai Yi finally reveals his decision not to join the elite squad because he will be leaving the school soon, and he doesn't see a reason to join. Bai Yi then reveals his plan to establish his own guild very soon, and he tells Anli that they are going to get the chance to fight side by side when he does this. Before they can have any further conversation, Anli's vice rushes over to tell her that they need to go because the principal needs them. And Lee then tells Bai Yi that they are going to be meeting at the pilgrimage where they can talk better. As she walks away, the people start to gossip about how confident Bai Yi must be to have rejected Anli's invitation, but invited her to his guild instead. The students cannot believe how ambitious Bai Yi is to be talking about creating his own guild when he is not even an adult yet. In addition to Bai Yi getting the highest score in the combat simulation, his decision to hug Anli has left everyone in shock. What's more shocking is that Anli didn't refuse the hug or the offer that he made her. Bai Yi, on the other hand, never imagined that he would run into Anli the way he did because his team in the past life never revealed their backgrounds to themselves. This is why Bai Yi never knew that Anli was in the same school as him, and this almost cost him the very good chance to meet her. Bai Yi smiles, realizing that he just got the best birthday gift of the day. After school, Bai Yi and his friends head to a barbecue store, owned by an old man named Wang. While they are eating, his friends ask him if he is serious about opening a guild and if he really wants to leave the academy. Bai Yi then confesses his plan to stay in the Shenghe Nation after the training pilgrimage. The trio is shocked to hear this coming from him, leaving them to ask if he is planning to open a business or something. Bai Yi simply replies that he wants to stay in the nation because of his studies. Bai Yi mentions his plan to apply for the Shenghe Nation's Divine Academy. Meanwhile, at the Kaibin Hotel, Chief Hong Bing, the head of the Divine Guild, just arrived. Upon entering the hotel, the vice captain spots Ling Sheng in the hotel, shocking him, since he's supposed to be locked up. He heads over to Chen Wu, asking him how Ling Sheng got out, and Chen Wu mentions that Ling Sheng paid double bail. Chen Wu lets him know that the captain approved it, so he has nothing to worry about. The vice captain, Liang, is pissed when he hears this, asking Chen Wu why Ling Sheng was brought to Chief Hong's party. Chen Wu subtly tells Liang that since Ling Sheng was kicked out because of something insignificant, he is trying his luck again. Ling Sheng has several ghost crystals, which are highly valuable with him, and he is trying to use them to buy his way back into the guild. Ling Sheng walks toward Hong, but the moment he sets his sight on him, he slaps away the stupid valuable items in his hand, telling him to leave the hall. He calls Ling Sheng an outside dog who is not meant to be around them. Ling Sheng tries packing the gems, telling the captain to try and listen to his explanation. However, Hong Bing grabs him by the shirt, telling him that he doesn't care about his valuables. He tells him to take everything and get out of the hotel at once. In no time, Ling Sheng finds himself getting thrown out of the hotel, ultimately ruining his chance of a comeback. He is thrown to the floor like a dog, and this pisses him off really badly. He angrily gets back on his feet while swearing to kill everyone involved in the humiliation that he just suffered. He is filled with so much rage that it is practically overflowing out of his body. Fueled with rage, he heads to the new apartment that his runaway wife and kid just rented. Unfortunately for Bai Yi's mother, she runs into Ling Sheng outside the apartment while she is out getting groceries. On the other hand, Bai Yi has taken his friends to a barbecue shop to celebrate his birthday. They are having a fun time when the Divine Guild enters the shop, ultimately grabbing everyone's attention. His friend tells him that he is going to be colleagues with the likes of those who just entered the restaurant when he gets into the Divine Academy. His friend corrects himself, saying he might even turn out to be their superior. Bai Yi's friend is sad that they are currently having a farewell meal, but Qian argues against this, saying she is also going to work hard to get into the Divine Academy. Just then, it dawns on Bai Yi that the day is going way too smoothly for him. Specs then suggests that they leave whatever worries they have and enjoy Bai Yi's birthday instead. Bai Yi, on the other hand, is worried because he can feel that something is not right. Meanwhile, Ling Sheng has Bai Yi's mother on the ground, screaming at her for living a comfortable life without him. He believes that she has another person she is going out with, and he screams at her to tell him. Bai Yi's mother panics as Ling Sheng prepares to beat her to death, and even though she has the chance to break the jade to contact her son, she refuses to. Well guys, that's the end of the video. If you like this video, comment next part in the comment section. Also subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and like the video. Thank you for watching and see you next time again.